our existence, our being in this world is only for one reason, for tasawwuf. In other words, what? Tasawwuf. What is the real proper word? Pleasure of Allah. So the meaning of tasawwuf is the path to attain the pleasure of Allah. This is our objective. All of the actions that we do, they are means to get to the pleasure of Allah. The maqsad is the pleasure of Allah. The pious elders have statement and saying with regards to tasawwuf that in this path, and one of the paths to follow when you're practicing tasawwuf is the Sheikh. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. But alongside that, he mentioned a very valuable point, and he gave the answer to this point. He said that the Sheikh, the teacher, the guide, in other words, to bay'ah with the Sheikh. Why do we go to the Sheikh to do bay'ah? He stated that it is not fard to do bay'ah with the Sheikh. It's not fard that you do bay'ah with the Sheikh, but islah of the nafs is fard. Subhanallah. Rectification of the nafs is fard. It's not fard to go to the Sheikh to get bay'ah, but islah of the nafs, it is fard, it is compulsory. So to do islah nafs, you cannot do this without the Sheikh. So that's why to go to the Sheikh is also fard. It is compulsory. So for example, you go to purchase some meat. So to purchase meat, you have to go to the butcher's. It's necessary, isn't it? But it's not necessary to go to the butcher's shop. It's not compulsory. But to get meat, it will be essential to go there. You have to get meat from there. In the same way stated, it's not fard, but islah of the nafs is fard. And islah nafs, rectification of the desires, is our objective. And without a sheikh, you cannot get it. You cannot attain it. So if we don't have a sheikh, then you cannot do islah of your nafs. Just like the example of the butchers. Not for it to go to the butchers, but to get meat, you have to go to the butchers. So it's stated that to attain benefit from the sheikh is essential. Istifada, to attain benefit, nafa for a mureed, to do this in the company of his sheikh. So the main point is this: when an individual goes to his sheikh, then is he obtaining full benefit from the sheikh or not? That's the important factor to consider. What to consider? That to get to the point of Allah Ta'ala's pleasures, the two things I mentioned, we all mureeds, aren't we? The first element is the niyyah, the intention for razai haqq, the intention to please Allah, subhanallah. There should be no other intention. That's it. Why am I going to the sheikh? To please Allah, to attain Allah's pleasure. And this is such a great path, such a great route, that there's no path that can compare. So this is our niyyah, that we want to attain razai haqq. Impossible to get it anywhere else. Intention that the salik, the true student of the sheikh, first factor is he has niyyah. Why are you doing dhikr? To please Allah. Why do you go to your sheikh? To please Allah. Pleasure. Second element that we need to have. So first is niyyah, and after niyyah, that if you want to attain benefit from the sheikh on this journey, from whom you will get benefit, you will get the manzil, the destination from the sheikh, then you need to have total 100% connection with that sheikh. Compatibility and connection. You understand? Munasbat, you are all educated like me. You haven't understood what I've said, have you? Okay. So put up your hands if you've understood. Put your hands, mashallah. Mashallah. Okay. So munasabat, what does this mean? The taste. Do you understand? That your sheikh, first you have to have 100% intention for Allah's rida, and the taste should be compatible. When both taste, when both style, I say everything of my matches with Hazrat, my taste, and nothing inside or in our life, in our physical life matches. But there's a big sign for this. To prove this, that we will realize that have I got compatibility with my sheikh? Is my lifestyle similar to my sheikh? That it doesn't matter. Whatever we dislike, do you understand? Something that is not acceptable to you, something that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. That anything that's not acceptable to you, which is unacceptable to you, which doesn't match with you, which is a burden on your habits, on your life, which you dislike, which you don't want. So you take the worst of things. if the Shaykh says, if he's angry, scolding, or telling off, or telling the student off, etc., all of those things, the student will embrace as if nothing's happened, nothing at all, except no complaining, crying, etc. He has no negative feeling that he scolded me or told me of nothing at all. The student doesn't feel like that, because this is the path to Allah. And in the path to Allah, the students, they are not aware of the negatives that come, or the feedback that comes rather. The feedback, because they take the feedback as positive. Yes? That, for example, if a person is unconscious in operation, he doesn't feel any pain. So the sadiq, true, honest student in the path to Allah, he's unconscious. He doesn't know if he's being told off or scolded. He said, no, I'm madly in love with Allah. Through the connection of my Shaykh, I'm traveling to Allah. Allahu Akbar. When you're remembering Allah, you're so immersed in the love of Allah. This is a great couplet, and this is in the Lucknowi standard or style. What did I say? Subhanallah. Yes, that when you remember Allah, then the person forgets his own objectives and needs. He's just traveling on the path to Allah, crazy in love with Allah. That person gives his all and his life and his efforts. In the morning this dhikr going, evening this dhikr going, and following the Shaykh, just like a dog runs after his owner. That we are worse than the dogs. The Shaykh might be telling you off or giving you feedback, etc. Accept it, embrace it. So this is the asal, genuine path. And the person who doesn't have the link with the Shaykh, then after a while his ears go red. When the Shaykh tells him off, then the ears go red. Face goes red. He starts to dislike, take it badly. Hazrat Sahib, I don't know why he said this to me. I don't know why. Inside his heart starts to burn. And he doesn't receive the feedback, the waves from the Shaykh. And he didn't know what was the objective, why he called. Every action of my Shaykh, says the student, whether he says go to the shop, go and buy this. But every action of the Shaykh for the Mureed, it will be for Allah Ta'ala's rada, Allah's pleasure. Allah Akbar, say Subhanallah. What a beautiful point he said. He stated that when the nisbat is strong, the Mureed with his Shaykh, when the connection is strong, when the munasabat is strong, stated, then the Shaykh's tawajjuh focus, it descends like electricity.